Kuguzie tu hii
Sweet Mapesa. This is Sweet Mapesa on Afternoon Switch. Listen and live.
Yes indeed, kama ni Tuesday ni siku ya Switch Mapesa, and in studio we already have Reverend Gitau with us. Asante sana Rev na karibu.
Oh, thank you Davy.
Thank you for always creating time to be here.
It's a blessing, it's a pleasure.
Yeah, yes, don't take it for granted.
Thank you.
Tuna learn vitu, tumekuwa tukilearn mambo ya tithing.
Yes.
Huduma inaendelea namna gani Rev?
Iko poa kabisa, we are doing well pale Thika.
I hope vijana wanachangamka.
Vijana wako sawa. Right now they are listening to me.
Wasiniangushe.
Yeah, wako sawa kabisa. But I have young people today who are making money more than any other generation. I think I've said that for the last 4 weeks. That this is generation that is making money more than any other generation.
Yeah.
And there are more opportunities now than any other generation.
I love what you've said.
Yes.
Before you came in,
yes,
we could have a discussion now.
Oh, really?
Na the listener.
Okay.
Before niguze hiyo discussion, we are live on Facebook, on YouTube, and on X, formerly known as Twitter, at Hope FM Live. Now, Rev, tulikuwa tunaambiana.
Yes.
What was your first ever job or task that you did and received money, and how much money was that?
Okay.
And then really we were trying to encourage each other that watu waachane na this notion ya neza omoka overnight.
Yes,
people are making money, like you're saying, young people, but they've put in the work.
That is very true.
And most of them also have taken advantage of the technological advancements.
Yes.
Lakini huyu mwenye ana expect tu atokee aomoke ashike do, kuna processes.
That is very true.
Whatever you're earning right now pasi, si do yenye ulikuwa unashika kitambo.
That is very true.
Ume grow through a certain journey.
Yes.
Hebu kwanza utujibu hiyo Rev. Niliambia watu tunataka mtumishi wa Bwana tuambie.
Mtumishi wa mwenye mafuta.
Kabla asikie mwito.
Yes, it's interesting because some research that was done back in the US shows that the average millionaire is 60 years old.
The average millionaire is 60 years old.
Yes. Meaning they have consistently built their wealth.
Yeah.
They've consistently, and there are some rules they've played by, and there are some regulations they followed to build their wealth.
Yes.
Because wealth is not an event. And if you want to create wealth as an event, then you get messed up. Because you either, and I think the other day I said that there are different ways of creating wealth. Either you can inherit, or maybe you can marry into money.
Yes.
Or you work your way up.
Yeah.
So unfortunately, very few people are able to inherit.
Or
I was telling you how some guys were complaining that they wonder why their mothers never got married to some particular families.
Walikuwa wapi?
Walikuwa wapi?
Yes.
It's funny because I asked them this question: where do you think you will be 20 years from now or 30 years from now? Will your children ask the same question? Where you were when the other men were working. So it's sad because we desire to inherit, or we desire, how many ever get married into money? But 99% of us will have to work our way up.
Yeah.
So you asked a question, when I made my first income. Now, this takes me back to many years back. When I was a small boy. I didn't know I was making money. But now, in retrospect, I get to see that I was making money. Growing up, I'm the fourth born in a family of 6. And growing up, as my mom went to till land outside our home, we'll be left with this mzee called Wamagata. And this mzee was an agriculturalist because he would plant trees. And most children were left with him because he would work from his home. And he will babysit. But for him, he got free labor. Because he would make us put some sand in some to peppers and then plant or transplant these trees from the nursery to this particular space. And later, when I was in class 3, my dad cut down some trees, some blue gums, and I saw some seeds. And I remembered what I had seen as a kid. And I thought, what if I try this? And that is what I did. I just did the nursery and planted those seeds. Kumbe they germinated. So one day my dad is strolling in the neighborhood on a Saturday, and he sees these trees and he asks my mom, whose nursery is this? And my mom says, that belongs to your son. So that became my dad's project. He took me together with my brother, took me to the trading center and got some peppers. We came and transplanted this from the nursery to these peppers here the whole day. And then he told me, you must water these trees every day. Make sure before you go to school, you water them. And I did that faithfully. Then one day he comes, he tells me these trees are mature, now we can sell them. So we went to the trading center again. He went to market my produce or my product.
Yes.
And he looked for men his age and told them that my son here has trees. So come and buy. I mean, they came and bought trees, and I got a lot of money. It was a lot. I can't even remember how much it was. It was a lot of money.
Yeah.
And he gave me all the cash.
Wow.
I didn't know what to do with the money. So I dashed to my mom, and I asked my mom, what am I supposed to do with these trees and with this money? And she told me, now you need to pay your workers. And I'm like, get workers. Kwani have workers? Kwani meomoka? That I'm even an employer.
Yeah.
And she told me, no, your dad and your brother are working for you, so pay them. Anyway, I don't even remember what I did with the rest of the money. But that's when I would say that I made my first shilling.
Yeah.
Now, years later, when I was in class 6, I began my business, intentional business of selling milk. I come from the village where we were poor. That's the year that I lost my father. And I was looking for something to keep us alive.
Yeah.
And I started a business of selling milk. We didn't have cows. We didn't have refrigeration. We didn't have all such stuff. No power, no electricity. But my mom will get this, because she was my first employee.
Yeah.
She would go buy milk from the neighborhood, come put it in plastic jerry cans and put them in big basin that had water, and then put it on earthen floor. That was enough refrigeration. And coming from school, that's when I'll go and sell this milk. Some of my teachers were my customers. So homework, I never did homework at home. Mi nilikuwa nafanyia tu shule. Anyway, I didn't even have enough books, so I had to get books from my neighbors. And that's when I made business, and I was able to come and calculate. Fortunately, business education was introduced in school, and you were taught how to do a balance sheet and such like stuff.
Yeah.
And I enjoyed. So I would say that was the first business that I did intentionally.
Yeah.
And we used that money even to support our sister who was schooling by then in Form 3.
Nice.
Yeah.
Before we get to the topic of the day,
Yes.
I think in retrospect, you appreciate the fact that haukushika like at 5 million when you were 12 or 13.
That is very true.
Yeah, because you're encouraging people that watu wachane na hiyo story ya nataka nifunge deal moja safi. That's how people are ending up getting killed all over the place.
That is very true.
Juu ya kutry to become a millionaire overnight.
Yes.
Anyway, kwa sababu
it's funny, Devi, now that you say that, because research has shown that people who ekelea and they get this deal of several millions.
Yeah.
They remain poorer after a few months. But they get poorer after a few months.
Ata mimi sikuwa na hiyo statistics.
Because this is a lot of money that comes once.
Yeah.
And whenever money comes that way, it confuses people. It is important for it to trickle pole. You get used to this. And that's why even in school, there is class 1, class 2, then to class 8.
Yeah.
And I was telling you how the future generation will think we are too old when we are thinking about class 8. For them, they're talking about grade 6.
Yeah.
So they'll be like, you guys are,
class 8.
I mean, this is history.
Yeah.
Historians. So it's good to appreciate the little that is coming in slowly by slowly. Growing up, I saw young men who made a lot of money. I don't come from far.
Yeah.
Not far from this city.
Yeah.
And that's when the Dagoretti market was the only abattoir that was selling meat in Nairobi.
Yes.
And the young men were making money, like money. You didn't need to go to school. Actually, most guys my age did not go to school because they'll come to Dagoretti and make their income.
Yeah.
And by the time they were hitting 17, 18, they were making hundreds of thousands. And I saw so many of them die before they celebrate their 30th birthday because they didn't know how to handle all this money.
Yeah, and mtu asijiambia hapana wacha nipate nitahando.
Let me say this, because there are those that will be fortunate enough to get that. And I've seen them in church. I've seen many young men making money. And I tell them that you must posture yourself in a way that unaweza ambilika. Because money has a way of showing you, making you become big-headed. That you can't listen to anyone. You can't listen to any wisdom. You must always have a mentor that is 10, 15 years your senior. And that is what I've done even as a minister. that I have people who are 10, 15 years my senior,
Yes.
who will help me walk the straight and the narrow. Because even as a minister, I can go rogue.
Yeah.
So it is possible for us to posture yourself in a way that unaweza ambilika.
Yeah.
And I keep telling those young men, you guys, you'll make more money than your father here has ever made. But posture yourself in a way that unaweza ambilika. And I celebrate many of them who have postured themselves that way. And right now, they're family men, and you can see they're growing, they're celebrating and enjoying their wealth.
Wow.
Yes.
Thank you so much, Rev. I believe Atakama, that wasn't really part of what you're to discuss.
Yes.
It has helped someone.
Yes, that is
because even wengine wanasikiza sahi, they've already started making good money.
Yes.
But have a posture ya mtu anaweza ambilika.
Exactly.
You know?
Yeah.
Getting to the topic of the day today, multiplying your income.
Yes.
I think you're very well connected now with that discussion.
Oh, that is very, very true.
Because if I'm to be a millionaire, I have to multiply whatever I have right now.
You have to keep multiplying that, and it has to keep growing. But before we get to that, allow me to say that all the conversation that you've had here for the last 3 weeks,
yes,
this being the 4th one,
many
people will disregard this information. They'll hear this and just disregard, and they're like, hizo ni stories za jaba, cha nazo. Cha nazo.
Au members wa Rev nimewaona. Mnafundisha Rev
Exactly. So by the way, they're listening.
Yeah.
Actually, my staff team is gathered somewhere listening to this.
Big up yourself.
Yes.
Yeah.
By the way, they're saying, we've now become part of Hope FM. I'm like,
nice.
That's good.
Yeah.
So it's possible for you to disregard. And imagine, this is not meant for me. This is for other people. When you talk about paying your tithes faithfully, you might think, that's not my information. It's meant for someone else.
Mtu aseme ni pasi anasema.
That is it.
Anasema for mapasi.
Exactly.
Yeah.
And it's such like stuff. The other thing is, there are those who will feel good about it. They're like, wow, that's powerful. And that is what happens in this country, by the way.
Yeah.
People attend a conference or conferences after conferences, and they're like, wow, that's amazing.
Revelation.
A revival has come. Revival is here.
Yeah.
But they just feel good about it and do nothing. So there are those who will feel good about it and do nothing.
Yeah.
But there's a third category, and my prayer is that we'll all belong to this category, who will hear this and obey and activate this.
Amen.
And believe you me, the people that will be different are the people that will hear this, take it as their own message, and obey it, and do as the message dictates. Now, years back, some research was done somewhere in Harvard University. And out of the graduating class, 3% had a clear understanding of what they will do after graduation.
3%.
It was very clear for them.
Yeah.
Of the graduating class. 3% knew, this is what I want to do, and this is what I will do. Now, 4% had a vague idea, not very clear. Maybe I might go and teach, or might go and practice this, I might go and do the other. But 93% did not know exactly what they will do.
Yeah.
For them, they were waiting for the graduation, and then they start figuring out. Surprise, surprise. 20 years later, research was done on the same class.
Yeah.
The same people.
Yeah.
And the 3% that had clear written down goals, clear understanding of what they would desire to do, were 20 times wealthier than the 97% combined. Because it is good to have clarity of what you need to do. The challenge is that many people get that clarity when they're in their 40s and 50s.
Yeah.
And the challenge with that is that by the time you're getting there, you have so many responsibilities that you wonder how to take that risk or to make any risk.
Yeah.
So to become or to multiply your wealth, you need to overcome something that I call the cycle of poverty.
The cycle of poverty.
Because poverty is a cycle. And the cycle starts with earning a salary. Today is 23rd of October.
Yes, 24th.
24th.
Yeah.
24th.
Yeah.
Oh, 24th. Yes, today's Tuesday. 24th.
Yeah.
There are those that have already been paid. And there are those that will be paid maybe in a couple of days.
Civil servants, yeah.
Yeah.
I'm a bankers.
Now, the challenge is that many people move from salary to spending. without any plan. They jump into spending. And then after spending, by day 5 or day 3, they get so stressed because they can't even afford, and they start borrowing into the future.
Borrowing into the future.
Into the future. And eating into their future.
Yes.
Because now they live on, what do we call it? They live on, they on salary advances and all that. And then after that, they go into sweating. They sweat. They work hard. They are stressed, and then they sweat a lot. Then in no time, salary comes again. And the cycle continues.
The cycle
they
of
come
poverty.
From salary to spending, then to stress,
to
sweating. And that's why between day 5 to day 20 or day 25, people are so stressed. And they are so volatile. By the unakanyanga mtu ukipita tao kinaumana, and you're thinking, this is more than just, dude, I never thought it was this serious. But because this guy is so stressed, and they're looking for something to trigger their anger. And then they go into stress. The challenge is that by the time they're getting the salary, they easily forget. A story goes about a warthog. And it is said that warthogs are interesting. Because a warthog will get some tree that has many fruits. The warthog has children. And he'll rush to the tree and hit it with its head. And it collapses immediately. Because it has used too much pressure. Then fruits will drop and all the children will enjoy. And the warthog will sleep there because of pain. It is said that it is a myth. It will wake up later with a very severe headache, wondering whatever came my way. Unfortunately, many of us operate that way. Because the warthog will again go and hit another tree. It will forget very easily and go hit. In fact, it is said that the warthog has the shortest memory. Now, unfortunately, most of us operate that way. That you get your salary and you jump into spending without even thinking. You start thinking, why is there Terrific Tuesday? Or when is Terrific Tuesday? Where do we gather? Tunaenda happy wapi? Tunaenda niliambiwa inaitwa nini? Sherehe. Naenda sherehe wapi? And nanunua viatu gani? And all that. Things that were not even part of the budget. Now, to break that cycle, you need to do something. After getting your salary, before you go into spending, you need to create another link there that I call a system.
All right. I think I'll ask that you hold it at that, Rev.
Thank you.
Lakini kuna kitu umesema hapo, I'm sure watu wengi sana wanasema huyu mtu wa Mungu anatumulika. Unajua vile service inafanyangwa ambako unajiuliza kwani pasi alikuwa ananisikiza nikiwa huko. Ati salary, spending, stress, alafu sweat. We go for a quick break and then we'll be back in a few.
It's time to switch. It's time to switch. Listen.
Karibu sana to Afternoon Switch. My name is David King. Nimekuwa hapa from 1 p.m. na tutamalizia at 4 p.m. and nikasema this being Tuesday.
Switch Mapesa. This is Switch Mapesa on Afternoon Switch. Listen and live.
Yes indeed, Tuesday nakuanga siku ya kuongea mambo ya do, and in studio with us is one Reverend Gitau. Amekuwa akitutake through a very wonderful series ya tithing, and sasa akafika mahali akaniambia, Devi, kuna watu wengine wametithe forever, lakini they need to actually grow. Tithing is also one of the avenues yenye Mungu alisema anafungua the windows of heaven. Ask of me, uone kama sitafungua the windows of heaven. Now leo tunaongelea kuhusu multiplying your income. Karibu sana Rev.
Thank you David.
Na ushanifurahisha sasa. Sijui tutafanya lini la hii kipindi.
Hata mimi nimejibamba bwana.
Kuna hiyo cycle umesema, na najua you're speaking to a lot of people.
Okay.
Ya salo, after salo, spending. After spending, stress. After stress, sweating.
Yes.
Sweat ikiisha hivi, mshande tena imeingia, salo ikiingia, unarudi tena to the cycle.
Exactly.
But ukatuambia there is a way out.
There is a way out.
So hapo ndo tulikuwa.
The way out is to create a system.
Yes.
Okay?
Yes.
So that by the time you get your salary, you don't jump into spending. You create a system. And as your system means, by number one, you get to have a workable budget.
A workable budget.
Get a workable budget.
Yeah.
What I'm about to share, I know many people will be like, wow, how do I operate on that? But I'm happy because you're listening.
Yeah.
Because your desire is to create your wealth.
Yeah.
Because many people will get to retirement. Have you heard this story of this Jama who was asked to help him carry some stuff up the 8th floor? They carried stuff up 8th floor, a lot of it.
Yeah.
When they got to the 8th floor, the guy who was the owner of the job told this guy, now, dude, we're here. Lakini kumeshikana. Kuna shida kidogo. Because I have good news and bad news. Do you want to hear bad news or do you want to hear good news first?
Yeah.
And the dude said, give me good news first. He said, okay, the good news is that we are on the 8th floor. Okay, that's good. Oh, wow. At least that is good.
Yeah.
Tell me the bad news. The bad news is that we are on the wrong building. We've done all that work. Yeah. But we're on the wrong building.
Yeah.
Now, many people will hit 60 and realize that, oh my goodness, I've done so much work, but I'm on the wrong building.
Yeah.
I don't have any savings. I don't have any reserves. I don't have any investment that I can use in my old age. So because I know most of us could be below that, and you desire to get in a space where at that point you have enough reserves and enough resources, you need to have a workable budget.
Yes. And
the workable budget, I divided it to like 4 parts.
Yes.
The first part is to make sure that you give 10% back to God.
The tithe.
The tithe.
Yeah.
Give it back to God. He's a creator, he's a giver. 20% of your income should go to future you.
20%.
Future you is your savings. And you save this in a place where you can't easily access.
Kwa sababu kuna mambo yulifanyika katikati ya mwezi.
Exactly. Unajikuta kuna ngori hapa.
Yeah.
Okay?
Yeah.
20% goes into a space where you can't even access it. It could be you put it in a place where, and not just in a financial institution.
Yeah.
Put it in a place where it can give you interest. Okay?
Yeah.
Another 20% goes into my present me or my current me.
Yeah.
So you're left with 50%. So you should survive on 50%.
Niko na swali, Rev. And I'm asking for many.
Yeah, I know.
Let's say before, after tithe.
Yes.
Because hiyo tulisema it's not negotiable.
Yes.
As long as you're a believer, you have to tithe.
Yes.
After tithe nimebaki na 90%.
Yes.
But hii 90% ikuwe ndio I can survive on.
Yes.
Hapo kwa savings kutendaje?
In fact, 90% is too much. Let me tell you. Because I train people on financial management. And I remember one time we were having this discussion and we looked at a real case. Okay?
Allow me to interrupt.
Yes.
Kuna siku tuliketi na wewe Rev.
Yes.
Tukafanya hesabu. Ndo nilikuwa natafuta kwa
Yes.
kitabu.
Oh, like really? Yes.
So wakati tumeongea kuhusu the cycle of poverty, I remembered.
Yes.
We did actually hesabu ya mtu akona gari.
Yes. Oh, yes.
Do you remember that?
Yes, I remember that. Yes. Yes. Now, and that is why now, to have a workable budget, it means, of course, you start with the income. Look at the amount of money that you have. Then you remove 10%. Then 20% savings and 20% future savings and 20% current me.
Yeah.
This 20% current me is what you can use should you be passing by this city and your phone goes. Instead of getting a loan to buy another phone, at least you have some savings that you can use.
Yeah.
Okay.
Now the 20 the current me, not the future me.
Not the future me. Yeah. The future me is one that you cannot easily access.
Yes.
Okay.
Yes.
What that means, getting a workable budget means that you will need to relook at your life critically and make some changes. And this could be radical, a real surgery.
Yeah.
Radical changes of saying, I need to move from this house to a cheaper house.
Yeah.
I need to sell off my car. Because it is not serving me.
That's a radical change.
It's a radical one.
Yeah.
And that can only be done by people who know who they are. Because most people do some things they do to impress others. By the way, it is said that people buy things that they don't need with money they don't have to impress people who don't even care.
True.
Yeah. So it means that you know who you are and you become comfortable in your own skin. That you can comfortably say no to some things.
Yeah.
You can move to a house, instead of paying 25,000, you can move to one that is a bit not maybe the second or third row.
Yeah.
And you pay maybe 15,000. I go to land, by the way, even buying land.
Yeah.
Land that is next to the highway can go for, maybe an acre can go for 100 million.
That's true.
The third row will go for 30 million. And you're wondering, why should I spend these here? But the challenge is that because you're not comfortable in our own skin, we have to impress people who don't even care. By the way, do you know, David?
Yeah.
When you're driving a new car, man, the most frustrating thing is to see another newer car pass by your car. And now you are thinking, oh my goodness, I thought I was shining.
Yes.
You mean they could not even allow me chance to shine?
Siku mbili tu ni shine.
Exactly. So you get a workable budget. In fact, it is said that you should not spend more than 30% of your income on housing.
30, yeah.
Yeah?
Yeah.
So if you're earning 100,000, for example, I mean, a house of 20,000 is good enough.
Yeah.
But that will mean that you do some radical changes and become comfortable in who you are.
Yeah.
Don't be defined, or don't be. Many people are bothered because they want to be addressed by an address.
Especially this social media age.
That is it. That is it. And you know, and they keep saying that if it is not happening on social media, then it is not happening. But you know what? The image that you post there, in no time, other people will get other images.
That's true.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So, and sometimes post things without even filters and you'll get to see who you really are. Get a workable budget.
Yes.
Now, you need to give yourself some assignment and say, this is the amount of money that I earn. Is this really workable? Because I honestly find people who are earning 60,000, for example, and they're living in a house where they're paying 30,000. Honestly, you can never break even.
Yeah.
Yeah?
Yeah.
That is how you start to create a system. So that when you hit 60, you have enough savings and enough reserves. The second thing is that you need to have a financial goal. Get to have a financial goal. Imagine, Davy, we have goals for everything else. Except finances.
That's true.
We have goals for everything else. And every year, like now, in no time, we'll be having 31st of December when we'll all kule kesha.
Yeah.
to keep telling God, now I've made all these mistakes,
5,
but this year,
4, 3,
these are
2, I'm starting afresh.
I'm starting afresh. Helion
Yes.
So you need to understand that you need to have a financial goal and say, where do I want to go? I keep telling people that, please, wealth creation is not an event.
Yeah.
So divide your life in blocks of about 10 years. That in the next 10 years, I'm now 25. In the next 10 years, at 35, this is where I want to be. This is where I want to go. This is how I want to grow my wealth.
I think, Rev, you're saying a very important thing.
Yes.
Especially since afternoon switch mostly nasikizwa na young people.
Yes.
Tuko na goals za kila kitu.
Oh, yes.
Lakini ya do,
uko na goals
very
ya
few.
Kukatia dem, uko na goal ya ku lose weight.
Yeah.
Uko na goal ya, I mean, kwenda gym, uko na
goal na followers IG.
Exactly. You have all those goals other than
that's very important. Goals. Even families need to, I know they are plugged in.
Oh, yes. Exactly.
You should have a financial goal for the family.
That is it. Know where it is that you want to go.
Yeah.
And they say anything that is not measured does not ever get done. So setting a goal means that you are measuring something.
Yeah.
And that will definitely get done. That's creating a system. And you're saying, by the time I hit 40, this is what I want to have achieved.
Yes.
This is what I want to do. Setting goals and saying, I want to be earning this kind of money at this age.
Yeah.
You know what that does? It gives you some discipline. It gives you some discipline. It tells you that you can move. Now you can be able to grow this and move to the third level of creating multiple streams of income.
So we don't just get to creating multiple streams of income.
No. It's a system.
Because kuna mtu sahi yako like, misisikia akisema vile nita multiply.
Exactly, yeah.
It's a system.
It's a system. It's a system that helps you. Do you know why people die? People die when their body system fails.
That's true.
You have one organ failing, another organ fails, another organ fails, another one fails, and your whole body system shuts.
Yeah.
And organizations come down when systems fail. There is no bank that will ever go into receivership if the system is okay.
Yeah.
It is when systems fail that organizations fail. Nations fail because the system has failed.
Yeah.
And if the system is not working, imagine if you're living in a country where anybody can be anything and can do anything and can say anything.
That's true.
Even when you're driving on the road, there's a system that helps us.
Yeah.
So that we at least are able to drive in a sane manner.
Yeah.
So create a system.
Yeah.
By first getting a workable budget.
Yes.
And you have to really be very intentional. But number 2, create goals. Once you create that financial goal, number 3 is when you have multiple streams of income. Allow me to read.
Okay.
Because someone could be saying, this pastor is just giving his own mind here. We need to hear the mind of God.
The mind of God.
Ecclesiastes chapter number 11.
Yes.
Ship your grain across the sea. After many days, you may receive a return.
Yes.
Invest in 7 ventures. Yes, in 8. You do not know what disaster may come upon the land.
Yeah.
Verse 6 says, of chapter 11, Ecclesiastes chapter 11, verse 6.
Yes.
Sow your seed in the morning, and at evening let your hands not be idle. For you do not know which will succeed, whether this or that, or whether both will do equally well.
Yeah.
Now, Solomon, the wisest man to ever live, gives us this wisdom.
Yes.
That you need to ship your grain across the sea. After many days, you may receive a return.
Yeah.
Invest in 7 ventures, yes, in 8. Because you'll never know what disaster may fall. Can I tell you? You are... Let me not say that because now, David, you're my friend. The most dangerous thing that any human being can have in life is to have just one multiple stream of income. I mean, it's to just have one single stream of income.
Yeah.
That's the most dangerous thing that one can have. Because organizations downsize.
COVID taught us that.
And businesses do nosedive.
Yeah.
and they put you on 50% pay. So if you are relying on just one stream of income, then you are set for great fall.
Time ya COVID watu walilearn
the hard way. Let me tell you, the challenge is that the mythical story of the Warthog unfortunately sometimes applies to us, and we forget very easily. So we need to start thinking, how do I create multiple streams of income? Number one, have one that is your main. Okay?
Yes.
Have one that is your main. I keep telling people, you cannot create wealth if you don't have regular income. You must look for one that is giving you regular income. I know some people who are into consultation and all that. And sometimes for many consultants, money does not come regularly. They don't have regular income. And unfortunately, by the time money comes, it could be even in millions, but they have too much baggage here that they have first to clear this. And then, so in no time, this money comes and goes. So they are not able to grow. So make sure that you have, number one, regular income. So anyone who is listening to me and does not have some regular income, and I talk about regular income, David. I'm not talking about getting an 8 to 5 job. I'm talking about getting something that will give you regular income. It could be a business, it could be a product that you're selling, but look for a way of having it give you some regular income. Because getting some regular income means that you are able to pay your bills regularly. They don't have to wait until that time that it piles up, maybe rent piles up, and all this money comes in bulk. It just goes. So have some regular income and create a system where you have a regular way of paying your bills. That way you'll be free and you'll be able to multiply and grow. That's number one. Have a regular income. But number two, ask yourself, what is my passion? What is my passion? Do I have a passion activity that I can monetize? Okay? I have a friend who has an eye for detail. They're very good with grammar, English. They edit work. And they do that in the evening. In fact, that is therapy to them. It's a way of relaxation.
They are passionate.
In fact, they edit my work. And to edit just one book, they charge me 10,000. And they take about 3 evenings to edit that work. So that is passion.
And they are earning from their passion.
Now, if they can edit 10 books in a month, so times 10,000, that's 100,000.
That's true.
And they'll do it comfortably over the weekends. They're able to do even much more. So do that. Look for your passion and monetize that. Maybe your passion could be music. Monetize that. Look for ways of monetizing that. Maybe you have a beautiful voice. Look for a place where you can do some voiceovers. And that will give you an extra income. Okay? So look at and look for your passion and ask yourself, can I follow this passion? The other one, ask yourself, do I have a skill that I've not made use of? Do I have, and this skill must not be skill that was taught in school. No. I have, in my book, I've written about this friend who is good with sound system and playing different instruments. He plays a keyboard, he plays drums, he plays guitars, several of them. And I'm like, wow. So I talked to him and asked him, dude, don't you think you can start a school of music? I was like, come to think of it. And I told him, yeah, just do that. Start a school of music. And that's what he did. He started. Then he got some few people register. Many parents came and registered their children and realized, wow, I can do this. And now schools are closing for almost over 2 months. Now, parents will be very interested in having their children engaged. You can create something now. By the way, these 2 months, you can make a lot of wealth. That can last you for the next couple of weeks.
That's true.
Or a couple of months. So ask yourself, do I have a skill that I've not been using? I have another friend who was taught Spanish. And I told him, dude, you can start an evening class and teach people Spanish. And that's what he did. My training is education. So I taught him how to do a curriculum. And he drew a curriculum.
Yes.
And he started training people in Spanish. And many parents were very interested in teaching and having their children learn a foreign language.
Yeah.
We are living in that day where parents would like to have their children learn as many languages as possible. In fact, they say before children hit 10 years, they can learn up to 7 languages.
Up to 7
languages.
Wow.
So this dude decided, I can, and he asked me, how much do I charge? I told him, just charge and charge well.
Yeah.
And he charged. He got about 10 children for the first time, charging them 25,000 every 3 months.
Wow.
Now, come to think of, that's about 80,000 or 85,000 per month.
Yes.
So ask yourself, do I have a skill that I am not using? The challenge, I remember some school that I taught somewhere, and the director would tell us that the challenge that we have is that many people walk with blinders. You know the way a horse has blinders? And when horses are racing, they have blinders.
Yeah.
That they're not allowed to see what is happening to the right or to the left. Their focus is just linear. Life, by the way, is not linear. Life is not linear. So some of us have that because this is what I do. I cannot do anything else. But God has created you with so much potential that you can make use of. Maybe you are gifted in writing. Write a book. Yeah, you can even convert that book into an ebook and sell. I know a dude who does a lot of e-writing.
Yeah. And
by the way, he charges his books cheaply to stories, very interesting stories. He'll charge you, I think 200, you get a story. Very interesting stories. And he's always writing. When he's traveling to his place of work, he's writing. And these days, you don't even need a laptop. No.
We have the phone.
You have your phone, miniature computer, and you can use it to do so much. By the way, the other thing that you need to ask yourself is, do I have what? Not a gift, because a gift, okay, you still can talk about a gift like music and all that.
Yeah.
But do I have gadgets that I'm not making use of? You know, many people pay so much to buy a phone that they only use to send WhatsApp messages and to tweet and to withdraw and send
post
selfies. Yeah. I remember some gentleman speaking to us and telling us that we spend so much money buying gadgets and we don't even use 20% of the applications.
That's true. Kama mimi, my small sister kuna siku alishika simu yangu akanionyesha vitu sijaiona.
That is it. Yeah. And sometimes you just go and like, okay, I need an eye thing.
Yeah.
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 But what are you using it for?
Yeah.
Yeah. Today, as I write, I don't even need a computer. By then, I use my laptop to edit that work and put it together. But I use my phone to type. So you have your phone 24/7.
Yeah.
And maybe your skill is in writing. Can you go writing as you go to your place of work? And that will, people say that, you know, Africans, if you want to hide something to an African, hide it in books.
In a book.
I disagree with that. It is only that we don't have many African writers, good African authors.
Yeah.
But people are reading, and
That's
people
true.
do read. But now we are not providing those books. So ask yourself, do I have another thing that I can use? Do I have a gadget that I'm not making use of?
Yeah.
Other than just watching series after series in your whatever.
Yes.
Ask yourself, what am I doing? The other one is that you need to relook at your time.
Relook at your time.
How many hours do you have in a day, David?
Oh, yeah.
You have 24 hours, I presume.
Yeah.
Oh, my presumption is okay?
Yeah.
You have 24 hours.
Yeah.
Scientifically, they say you're supposed to sleep for how many hours?
At least 6 to 8.
Atasema 8.
Yeah.
8 hours. How many hours do you work in this office? Maybe in your office, generally, people work for about 8 hours.
Yeah.
Maybe 8 to 5.
Yes.
So 16 hours gone. How many hours do you take to rise up in the morning, prepare, and come to a place of work? Maybe 2 hours?
Maybe.
How many hours do you take with our traffic here in Nairobi to move from your place of work home? Maybe another 2 hours.
Yeah.
Maybe in 2 hours. So you have 8 hours plus 8 hours, that is 16. Plus 2 hours.
18.
Plus 2 other hours.
20.
20.
Yeah.
Can you account for the extra 4 hours?
Wengine wako TikTok.
By the way, research was done.
Yeah.
That Kenya follows Nigeria in the amount of time they spend on social media. The research that was recently done, I think last year, shows that an average Kenyan takes about 2 hours and 43 minutes. No, 2 hours and 34 minutes on social media daily.
So kwa zile 4 hours tumebaki, huyo amebaki na 1 hour.
1 hour and how many minutes? 26 minutes. Yeah. So relook at your time and ask yourself, how do I spend my time? How do I spend my time? But finally, grow yourself.
Grow yourself. Yes.
The challenge is that you find people, since they graduated 15 years ago, they have never added any value.
Knowledge,
even like a short course.
Yeah.
And these days, by the way, you must not even go to an institution. You can do classes online.
Yes.
And grow yourself.
Yes.
Get a foreign language. Get something extra. Grow yourself. Grow your value.
Yeah, you can even enroll for a college online.
That is it.
Yeah.
Isn't it funny that a glass of milk that's about 500 ml will go for about maybe 30, 40 shillings. A glass of yogurt will go for 100 bob.
Yeah.
Why? Because of value addition.
That's true.
Sometimes the amount of money you're earning is equivalent to your value.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So
grow your value.
Grow your value.
Once you grow your value, they will pay you better.
My goodness. If in any way umechelewa ukakuja after Reverend has actually taught a lot, you can go on Facebook, on YouTube, and on X, formerly known as Twitter. Later, you'll find this whole conversation hapo. Unfortunately, we are out of time, Rev.
Oh, my goodness. How fast?
Mi umenifurahisha sana na hizo S4.
Thank you.
I'm pondering on that as I go home.
Oh, thank you. Thank you.
Thank you.
You have to break that cycle.
Yes. Thank you for always creating time to be here.
Thank you.
I believe many are learning and many are getting delivered.
Thank you.
We said the very first show, it is through knowledge that we are delivered.
That is very true.
Saa zingine si kuekelewa tu mikono.
In fact, the interesting thing, David, is that all that I've shared, it's all expounded in my book.
Yeah.
So you can give me a shout and I'll get you the book and you'll enjoy.
Kabisa.
Yes.
Kwa hivyo pale kwenye Facebook, YouTube, or X, formerly known as Twitter, muende mtafutane na Rev pale and you'll get wonderful things. My name is David King. Masaa yetu imeisha. Unfortunately, Joy Muchache is right there ready with the news. Tupatane kesho for Worship Wednesday edition ya Afternoon Switch. This is Hope FM where you listen and live. Naondoka hapa nikisema grace and peace. Grace and peace.
Hope FM. It's now 4 p.m.